Yo, yo.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Eddie Johnson back again. I'm your host. We here again with Michelle, the creator of Grace Speaks, the YouTube channel. So we're doing a little collaboration, Grace Speaks and Yo, the podcast. We're going to build off of what we did in our previous episode in terms of growth and maturity, the relationship edition. So the first one was kind of like a man and growing into relationships and understanding where he's come from or where he's headed, where he wants to be in terms of relationships. So now in this episode, we're going to do the flip side of it, the women and their growth and maturity. Michelle?
Hey guys, thank you for having me again, Eddie. I'm super excited about this topic, and I look forward to giving my input on the woman's process of maturity.
Yes, it's going to be a beautiful one, especially since we got Grace Speaks in the building. So this is going to be good. So definitely y'all tune into the Grace Speaks channel and check this out. You know, you'll be able to see us actually. And again, you'll be able to hear some more great content that she has on her page. So, yeah.
So, first and foremost, I just want to say that when it comes to maturity and growth, from my experience, I know that the maturity and growth cannot come and will not come if you don't know the Lord.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
And just knowing that God is... He's the teacher, so he's the main teacher in our lives, and he just helps us throughout every experience in our lives to grow and mature. And especially when it comes to relationships with a significant other, it's so important that you know your maturity level, you know what growth needs to take part in your life so to, make the relationship work.
Right.
So, I'm just super excited about this. And Eddie, what is it that you want to ask me? Because last episode, if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on www.yoyothepodcast.com. And that is episode 9.
Episode 9. So, okay. So I think a lot of us men, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us, we try to figure out, what is it that, makes a woman tick? Like, what are her driving factors? So it's a big difference from when you're, a teenager and you're dating to when you're in your 20s and 30s and, you're really looking for something more. So from your point of view, what would be the difference you would say from when you were a teenager dating to now? Like, what would be the biggest change that you can kind of see in yourself from you being a teenager and dating to, currently?
Oh, wow. So the biggest change is just my reaction.
Okay.
My reaction on certain things. I remember just being very vocal and, if I seen something that just ticked me off or made me feel some type of way, I spoke on it, and I said something. And, a lot of times when you're growing up and you're maturing, you really don't know. But if you come from a toxic household, or you grew up, knowing certain things or seeing certain things, that's embedded in you. That's embedded in your mind and in your life. So when it comes to you stepping out on relationships, you take that, what you learned and what you grew up seeing into your relationship. So when I seen certain things and it just made me feel like infidelity was involved, or maybe, the man was being sneaky in some way, I felt like I needed to say something about it. Like, I seen that. Like, I seen what you just did. Like,
Okay, so you seeing all those things, you thought that was kind of like the norm in relationships, like that was supposed to happen?
absolutely not. And that's why, I think a lot of times, I was actually called a little crazy. But you know why? I thought, like, all along, I'm like, I was called crazy because of the simple fact, like, there's two different type of crazy. Like, there's crazy, like, sneaking in, busting windows and, popping up. That's one type of crazy. But then there's another crazy, like, where a man will just identify you as crazy because you know everything,
And
or
you
like
won't let him get away
you
with
on
certain
point.
things, right.
Yeah, so because you're on point, they're like, yo, you crazy. And it's like, I'm crazy because I see right through you. Like, I know
true.
what you're doing.
That's true.
So in that aspect, that's how I was. I wasn't a crazy, like, I'm popping up like Michael Myers. Like, I'm crazy. Like, I peep you, I see what you're doing, and you moving funny. And if you moving funny, then I'm gonna call you out on it. And a lot of times with that, as growing up, that was immature of me, because a lot of times, some of the times, probably it wasn't even nothing. It probably wasn't nothing, but because I grew up in a toxic household, seeing toxic relationships, I called it out to be something that it probably wasn't at the time. But in the same sense, where there were things that it was like it was something.
Right.
But did I have proof? Like, that's the thing. So
Yeah.
all right, so that's the young me, right? That's the young me. I'm calling out things. I'm saying, like, why you taking so long to answer my text messages,
Right.
type of thing. That's another thing. Like, when you young, you put a timer on that. You're like, all right, it's been 10 minutes. Like, it's been 15 minutes. Like, he still ain't hit me back. Like, there's a problem. But as you mature, you start to see, like, that's not, he's busy. Like, what if he's doing something? You have a different outlook on everything, because you are no longer consumed with what that man is doing, or what that man is doing or could be doing. Like, you're just focused and consumed on your growth in God.
So it's like your world doesn't revolve around this man as a mature woman. You have
Absolutely.
other priorities. Yes.
Right.
Like you said, the Lord being first, then, your responsibilities. And not to say that your man is secondary or last, but what the priority should be, what order things should be in.
Right. Absolutely. Because when you focus on a man and what they're doing, and you will literally stress yourself out.
Yeah.
But I noticed that as I've gotten matured and I put it all in God's hands,
Right.
I let him, lead the way, because
Right.
I'm a true believer. And as you said in your podcast, anything that happens in the dark will come to light. Right? Anything that happens in the dark will come to light, and God will truly reveal those things. Like,
Right.
he will literally reveal, things that you cannot find on your own. I remember, an instance where I was praying to God about revelation on something pertaining to a particular person that I was with, and he put everything in the front line so very clear for me, where I already knew in my heart that this is not the one, but I'm like, Lord, show me that this is not the one, because I can't do it on my own. And he did.
Right.
He did it right then and there, and I think that also helped my maturity and growth level through the process.
Right. So do you think that some women excuse nonsense? Like, they kind of, you guys see things, and I don't know if the right terminology would be being naive to it if you see it, but it's like, you know, something is going on, but you're like, nah, you know, maybe it's just me. Have you ever been like that? And would you consider that being immature, or would you just consider that as being naive?
Well, it depends. Like, if you know that you have a good man, and I measure a good man by being God-fearing. Like, I measure a good man with knowing that, you know, the man will humble himself enough to know that there's a higher call, a higher power before him, because a lot of men have this macho, you know, pride, ego thing. But if a man can actually come before the Lord and humble himself and say, you know, Lord, take me, you know, I'm yours, I'm your child. That's sexy to me. Okay. Like, that is just like, that's great to me. Like, I love that. And, so if you come across a man that is showing you that he's a good man, and you're seeing certain things, like, you know, little things that may, you know, seem a little fishy, you can let certain things slide. Of course, like I said, you go to God, and God will give you that insight.
Right.
But there are some women that feel like they need to hold on because they're not going to get someone else. And that is the worst type of woman. You don't ever want to feel like you're holding on because you're never going to get something this good. You know, you want to, the best thing to do, you know, the best thing a woman can do is let a man go. Because if you let a man go, you will actually let him know, like, listen, I can let you go. Like, you know, there's plenty of fish in the sea. So you letting a man go will actually show him and show yourself, like, listen, I'm choosing me before anything, I'm choosing me, my happiness. I choose happy. So if you feel like that man is tiptoeing and he's doing things that are a little sneaky and fishy, if you know for a fact that he's not a good man, because first and foremost, he hasn't displayed his intentions with you. You know, a good man is very intentional. He's going to tell you what he wants, when he wants it. You know, he's going to put you in his 2-year, 3-year plan, and he's going to set lifetime plan.
Right. Yeah.
Right. He's going to say, well, in another year, I want to put a ring on it. In another 2 years, I want to plant that garden. and you know, he's going to be very upfront, you know, with it. And he's not going to, you know, sugarcoat around it. So I think that that's super important. But yes, there are some women that still stay a little naive because they know this is something good. You know what? And he has potential. Like, he has potential to be a good man. So I'm going to hold on to this. But then there is some women that see the sneakiness, and they're very naive because they feel like this is too good to pass up, and I'm going to keep this because, you know, of other selfish reasons.
Oh, okay. So do you think, like, you know, a woman that's saying, okay, I see all this going on, but I'm just gonna stick around. Does that come from being insecure? And would you say that the insecure woman is an immature woman?
That's a good one, because you could be, people could confuse insecurity with, you know, just not letting, like, you're not going to disrespect me. Okay. All right. So I could say something like, oh, I don't want this or that, or you're doing this and I see this. Someone could confuse the two, but literally, like, really is not being insecure, is like, you're not going to disrespect me. So a lot of people could confuse the two. Right. But a lot of women nowadays are insecure because of social media and the front line it calls with the display and the image of a lot of women out there. But for the most part, like, I think a lot of men confuse the insecurity thing with just disrespect. Like I said, it's not even about being insecure. It's about you showing some respect. And if I have to mention this, and this to show you that this is what I want. And like I said, a lot of men don't take it that way. They would be like, man, they'll talk to their friends like, man, she just insecure, man. Like, she worrying about this person, that person. And it's like, no, it's like, we're not being insecure. We just want, that respect. We want boundaries. There are certain things that you just not going to do. Right. And as a woman, I believe that women, we have a really heavy influence on a man. We have just like the story, and I bring it up all the time with Adam and Eve, Eve influenced Adam to eat the fruit. Right. So women from day one, we have that influence that we can, persuade or move a man to do certain things. Right. And that's a good thing and a bad way. It's a good thing and a bad thing. But for the most part, no, I don't feel like insecurity is an immature thing, because I do believe that grown, mature women may be called insecure, but it's coming off in a wrong way where it's not insecure. It's us just stating facts of, you're not going to disrespect me and you're not going to cross this line.
So it comes down to not the woman being insecure, but the man being kind of like put on the spot, and now he's just trying to find his way out, or trying to you know what I mean?
Yeah, could be. Could be.
And then the women, grown women, they don't stand for that, I believe.
Yeah, because it's different women, because for the most part you have your women that grew up in a household, right, with their dad, giving them that TLC, showing the dad, opening doors, and that woman comes out into the world, right, and she's now on a dating scene, and the dad all along wanted to paint a picture of, this is how your man is supposed to treat you. Okay. But when that woman steps out on the dating scene and she finds her first man, and that man is not treating her like her dad, not opening doors, not giving her flowers, not doing all of this, then it becomes wait a minute, like this is different. My dad showed me that a man is supposed to treat me like X, Y, and Z. But then it's the woman that, like me, did not grow up with the father figure or any figure, I would say, that taught me how a man is supposed to treat me in that sense. And I'm just stepping out into a world where I'm just like, all right, let's see how this goes. Now I'm being molded by the first man that I'm dating. So the first man that I dated was, many, many years older than me. So with that being said, there could have been, because I was younger, there could have been manipulation going on. There could have been, a little bit of verbal, just the knowledge that was in that person compared to me, not knowing much. Then I'm like, all right, this is what it's supposed to be like. But then once I got out of that, I'm just like, no, that was not what it was supposed to be like, so you just get your fill. And as a person growing up without a dad, or growing up without, the perfect relationship or example in front of me, you just have to experience certain things on your own, but you have to learn through the process. You cannot make the same mistakes. Right. So as you're growing up, you have to pinpoint what you are doing wrong. Don't worry about the next person, because you are who you attract. You attract who you are. So you want to make sure that you're coming out to be the better you, the better version of yourself. Right. Regardless of what that man is doing, regardless of how that man is acting, you too big for that. He wants to yell, and he wants to, cheat, and he wants to. All right, you leave that man and you let him do it. Don't belittle yourself. Don't lower your standards, your character.
I got a question. Go ahead. No, I don't want to cut you off, but you just brought up something great. So those people, those women that though they experience those things in relationships with a man cheating and disrespecting them and doing that, this, that, and the other. I feel like a lot of women talk a good game, like, oh, he's this, that, and the other. I don't need this. I deserve better than this. But yet they end up staying. Why do you think that is? Like, what that has to, I don't know. I'm a man, I'm interpreting this as a man would, at least I think. And to me, that's just me seeing like, okay, you kind of immature where you're willing to put up with that type of treatment. Like, why is that?
So why would women stay? I mean, there is many reasons why a woman would stay. I mean,
but you know what? There are. I believe you. There are many reasons, but the fact
living
that
situations, financial situations,
true. So then, why talk a good game? Why express verbally express these things? That you deserve better. That you're gonna leave this, that, and the other, and you don't do it.
Well, I mean. If a woman is going to say
that's a tough question, my bad.
No, because I'm just saying, like, if a woman does say that, and she's telling that to her friends, first and foremost, her friends know her, and her friends gonna game her up and say, yeah, you could do it, whatever. But her friends, once she, tell her friends, girl, he bought me some roses. He took me out. He did. Them friends is going to say, oh, really, girl? What you going to do for him since he did this for you? So that's going to push her back, right? Because, you got friends like that. But now if she's coming to a man that she's with, and she's telling the man that, yeah, like, I'm with my ex, first and foremost, like, I believe that limited information is to be given to your relationships about your ex. I mean, if you plan on living, like, doing life with the person, then okay, like, let them know, like, all right, this is how my ex was. Ninja was crazy, popping up, all that. But if you're just dating, you want to limit that information of what you speaking on your ex to. So a woman can easily tell a man that just to get his sympathy, in a sense, because she may feel like the man will
mind games,
exactly, mind games. Now mature women don't play mind games. That's for sure. He texting 10 minutes late, I'm going to text him back 10 minutes late.
Right. So it ain't no tit for tat. Mature women don't do the tit for tat thing. They just keep it, because in my opinion, it seems like for a mature woman that those things are kind of beneath them to, play around like that. There's no time for games when you get in, to that point in your life where, you're trying to settle down and have a family and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
and don't stick around. Like, don't stick around. You could just simply leave. Like, and I feel like, for every good woman that is self-aware, self-observant, that loves herself, because the Bible also says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Right. How can you love your neighbor as you love yourself if you don't love yourself? Right. And that's what the Bible is all about. It's really about others. That's what life is about, others. It's not about you.
Service, right.
It's about service. It's about giving generously and just others, period. Right. And if you are in a mess where you pretty much don't show that love for others, then in yourself, like, you just don't, you're not getting anywhere. You're not aware of what's to come. But for the most part, as a woman is growing and maturing, she is aware, she loves herself, she loves others, and she's not coming off of her pedestal to meet any man down at level 1. Like, he has to either step his game up and show, some type of growth in a certain amount of time, or you got to be out of there, like, period.
I feel you.
Like, it's just like, God is just such a good God that he's not going to give you less than what you deserve. Yeah. And if you out here and you doing all of this and that, then you deserve this and that. But when you out here and you serving and you loving and you praising and you worshiping and you in your word, God is going to give you someone that is equally yoked, that is also in his word, and that is also, you know, serving, loving, giving, you know, that just has a great soul,
right?
You know, because that's what it's about. Because sometimes even good men, they slip up. You know, even good men slip up. But for the most part, you know, when it comes to marriage and long-term relationships, it's not easy because of the growth and the maturity that you have to, you know, go through and grow through with that significant other, with that man. You really do, because you guys are both learning each other, growing with each other every single day. Right?
So, yeah, absolutely. So, kind of building off on what you just said, that woman that, you know, doesn't love herself to the point where, you know, she's just, you know, with any kind of guy, is that because, you know, she hasn't, you know, she doesn't have that, you know, she doesn't really understand her own self-worth and understand that she deserves, or she should want, you know, someone that treats her a specific way rather than treating her any kind of way and her just accepting that? Why do you think that, you know, some women take that route? You know, is it just that, like, they just don't know their self-worth? They never been taught that or told that or shown that, you know,
right,
by whether it be a father figure or even women in their lives haven't really, you know, instilled that, like, that wisdom that comes from a woman, you know, that can only come from a woman. You know, what is your take on that?
Yeah, I believe, like, you don't know your self-worth if you don't know God. That's
simple.
Point blank, period.
Yeah,
like, you don't know who you are. You don't know, you know, what God created for you. And I mean, you know, he sent his son to die on the cross for us.
Right.
So for us. So
right.
if you don't know who you are,
right.
you know, to God, and then you don't know your self-worth,
right.
because God, he so loved the world. Like, he loved us first. If you don't know him, you don't know love, you don't know self-worth. And that's just that. Like, you're clueless. You're walking out here, like, you know, from next person to next person, and you thinking they're the problems, but really it's you.
Yeah.
You the problem. Period.
Like, I think some people, and this goes for men and women, they don't understand the severity of that. You know, Jesus died on the cross for them to save them from sin and death. So when you think about that, you know, you're worth dying for. That's a heavy price. You know, someone pays their life for you. That's, you know, when you're talking about humanly speaking, there's no coming back from giving your life from someone. But this is Jesus. This is God. So he gave his life and he came back to let you know that, you know, you're worth this. I broke all those chains and those barriers for you so that, you know, you can understand, you know, who I am and who I've called you to be, and, you know, to show you that these are the things that I have for you. I don't have, you know, this man that is, you know, physically, verbally abusive to you, that's disrespectful to you, but I have someone that, you know, is going to love you the way I love you, the way Christ loves the church. That's how a man is supposed to love his woman. And I believe that, you know, women are supposed to take heed to that, you know. I think a mature woman, again, like she said, like you said, knows who Jesus is and knows what he's done. There's stages, though. You know, obviously you can't get it all at once. That's kind of just not possible. It's growth. What this topic is all about. It's about growth. It's about, you know, growing and understanding, you know, who Christ is first, and then who you are in him, and knowing what you deserve in that relationship, in that significant other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yeah. And then for the most part, like I said, growth and maturity is something that both men and women have to be willing to do, and just be able to humble themselves and say, you know what, I was wrong. I seen a post on Instagram where it says, an immature relationship after a disagreement will turn out to a big argument. But when it's two mature people coming into a disagreement, it turns into a compromise. It turns into, a solution, a talk, a discussion, very calm. But when you have immature people, they want to argue, they want to fight, they want, to block and not answer and silent treatments and all of that stuff. That's all childish. And I just hope and pray that, I practice what I preach, that, every single day, am I the most mature, grownest woman? No, because I still have those moments that I want to, speak on certain things that is not the time. Sometimes there, like the Bible says, there's a time to speak.
Yep.
And there's a time to be quiet, to be silent, so sometimes you don't always have to speak about certain things. Sometimes you just have to let it ride, and you have to let God handle the battles, because the battle is not yours, but it's the Lord's. And that's every battle, every battle that a human faces. We have to understand that the battle is not ours, because the enemy comes to battle with you. He comes to battle with your mind in every way, shape, or form. So it's so important that when those thoughts, because that's another thing, when it comes to relationships and mature relationships, the enemy will come into your mind and have you playing out scenarios that's not even facts. It'll be all cap. Seriously, you want to make sure that before you react on situations, and this is what a mature woman does, before you react on situations, you take a step back. First and foremost, you breathe, do some, some poses, some meditate on the word, do some
pray a little bit,
prayer, all of that. Do that. And then, analyze the situation, but come to God first. Don't come to a man or anything because you're feeling some type of way. You're feeling hurt, sorry, confused. That you can't put that on anybody. If your feelings are your feelings. So, and that's one thing that we can control. We can't control other people. We can't change other people, but we can control and change the way we react and the way we think. We can change our mood. We can change our feelings. We can't change other people. And that's what, mature people understand, is that we have to sometimes accept the things that we can't change and move on.
Right.
That's
golden. So that was beautiful.
That's good.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, that was. So, let me ask you this question. You being, the maturing woman that you are now, opposed from, the immature woman that you were, what is your outlook on relationships right now? And what do you want out of relationships right now?
So my outlook on relationships is, I believe that a man and wife should come together and tie the knot and be married, right? I don't believe that boyfriend and girlfriend should prolong years and years and you should be considered boyfriend and girlfriend. No, I don't even believe that the common law. No, we have to follow the land of the law. And if it just takes $100 for you to go into a courthouse, sign pieces of paper with witnesses, and get married, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. And I strongly believe that that's what needs to be done. I don't believe that boyfriend and girlfriend should be boyfriend and girlfriend for years and years. That's first and foremost. We have to get into a relationship with an intention to marry and to tie the knot and to create generational greatness and wealth.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
That's what I believe in. Okay. What I want to be a wife. I want 2 children, 2 more. I got my boy. I want 2 more kids. I want to, you know, have a family. I want to grow my business. I want to build with this man where we are gray and old and we're together for years and years and years. Like, I don't want to start over, you know, and get divorced. I don't want any of that. I want to do whatever it takes for our relationship to grow strong. And I want to make sure that that third cord, which is the Lord, I want him in every aspect and every decision in our lives. I want him to direct our footsteps in every way, shape, and form. And that's what I see a relationship as. And as far as like infidelity, I do not believe in infidelity. I don't believe in a man stepping out in a marriage. And, you know, a lot of people say... Right. And a lot of people say, cheating begins with sex. No, it does not. Cheating begins with sneaky conversations that, you know, you can have. And I believe that, you know, with those conversations, that ruins the soul. So first and foremost, you want to make sure your soul is right and in that relationship full-heartedly. You want to make sure that this is exactly what you want and that there's no other woman or man walking that can provide that love, that TLC, that feeling that significant other can give. So I think that that's super important. And, you know, I just want to have fun. Like, I'm just such a, you know, a goofball. You know, I just want to have fun. I want to live. I want to drink wine. You know, like, I just want my kids to be good. And, you know, I just want to serve God. I want to do whatever God wants me to do in life. That's what I want to do.
Hey, that's a respectable answer. I think that, you know, you being that example to those that are looking to you or as an example, I think, you know, everything that you just spoke on is really enlightening. And I think that a lot of women and men also, I think a lot of us men can, you know, take from that, especially in like what it is that we should be looking for in a woman. And with women, you know, how women should, you know, look to conduct themselves. You know, it's easy, especially like you said, with social media. It's such a tool that can be used for bad and good, but it seems like there's more bad than most things now, because unfortunately a lot of women are just out there kind of, you know, showing their assets and what they have physically, rather than, you know, you can't. I mean, it's hard to show who you are on.
It definitely you know isn't, what I mean? Because I'm sure people are gonna judge you and portray you to be a certain type of person, whether you're doing good or bad. Like it doesn't even matter. Like, that's why, you know, you really have to not even focus on anybody but self. Like you really have to get your mind right. Like get your mind right, ladies, because man, like
you said, you know, women influence a lot of men, you know, men's behavior. And that's not to say that men aren't responsible for their actions, because we certainly are. But, you know, if you expect, and if you let your man or a man who's pursuing you, if you let him know, you know, what it is that you're expecting, you could shoo away the garbage real quick. Because men, you know, a lot of, you know, immature men aren't going to take the time to, you know, try to front and be like, okay, nah, this is me, but when it's really not. You're going to get rid of that quickly. A real man is going to show you, you know, the saying is talk is cheap. I love that saying. Talk is cheap. You know, I'm going to show you before I tell you. So, you know, when you get your mind right and you get yourself together, you know, and you put it out there, what it is that you expect, then, you know, everything falls into place. You keep God first, you know, he'll show you, as long as you inquire and you know, ask him to show you, and you know, respond to whatever it is that he tells you, everything will be fine.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that is it. I'm going to wrap it up right here. Again, to the Yo-Yo the podcast audience. tune into Grace Speaks so you can actually see us talking and having this conversation. And those of you who are viewing on Grace Speaks, check out Yo-Yo the podcast, all his episodes.
Check that out.
Super dope conversations.
Thanks.
And just great information overall for men and women to get information from. Right. So let my people know where they can find you.
Okay, her people. You can find me on yoyothepodcast.com, or you can go to on Instagram, Yo-Yo the Podcast. And also you can find my personal page, his_timing on Instagram. I post everything on there too. I post a bunch of different videos and stuff. So yeah, and also again, shout out to the brand Verdura Watches, Verdura Watches, all that stuff, all that good stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you for bringing me on here, and this is a great collaboration. More to come, so we definitely gonna get into it.
All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.
Take care. So yeah, y'all, that was episode 10, the growth and maturity relationship edition, but from the women's perspective. And Michelle did an excellent job on that. So Michelle, thank you for that. And it's gonna sound a little different because this was a collaboration. We did a video, you could see us there, but hey, it was great. So Michelle, thank you.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
Yes. All right, you guys, y'all stay blessed, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Yo.